Hey everybody, welcome back to the Quantum Show. It is panel discussion time. I got a late start, so links just went out. Welcome, Aussie Tiger, Aussie Boss. Thank you for coming back. Hope you enjoyed the first hour. I hope anyone who listened enjoyed the first hour because I really enjoyed doing it. And I looked her up, the Michaela. I looked her up for about 2 days and I looked at what I could see, and there is hardly anybody who wants to believe her. But she is in touch with Angeli, and I'm very glad of that. And hey, Tim, just breaking into, I just sat down with coffee. The cup is full, which is awesome. And yeah, Tim's one that had some weird experience with me in Germany. He was there. He saw some stuff. It wasn't a whole lot of stuff. Hey, Sarah, it wasn't a whole lot of stuff because, well, I wasn't really good at it yet. I wasn't very good at it. I was good at some things, but not others. And now I don't think I ever told him about the Men in Black thing. But hey, Rachel, OB2, and Aussie is saying again, like and subscribe. If you're here, you're quantum. I hope everyone enjoyed the first hour. I enjoyed looking it up and looking at what was being said. I didn't just do Patrick, okay? I didn't just look at Patrick's stuff, but they were all the people I was looking at, they were like following Patrick's lead. You know what I mean? And Amy took her own road. Hell yeah, I love that. You know, Amy took her own road on the topic of Michaela, and I'm glad she did that. She needs more information. Yeah, she wants proof, but she's very open to the woo of everything, just like me, right? And we got Lynn coming in. Hello, Lynn.
Hi, how are you doing tonight?
Pretty good. I saw you there in the first hour. What'd you think?
Um, I'd like to heard more from her, but I know you need to vet her first.
Yes,
You
she
know,
seems okay so far.
yeah.
But I've barely spoken to her at all, and I'm not going to just let anybody on the show.
Well, and when you do interview her, you might want to just bring her on and do that interview
Right.
straight up.
I haven't had a chance to even think about it yet. I'm just
Right.
going with
Thank you
she is
for
aware of the show. She came to the chat. I'm great. I'm grateful that happened. Right.
Yeah, that was
And
that was nice to see her. There was a number of others there.
hmm and a
And
lot ever since I opened that or I posted the show on Twitter. I got the blue check mark, by the way. They charged me whatever. I paid the money. Um, ever since I posted the show on Twitter, a couple people started following me,
uh-huh.
and that has that that needs to be shown to be a good or bad thing as of yet. I don't know if they were trying to debunk me, but I issued the challenge to Patrick. I know he's not going to do it because I'm pretty much not worth his time, right?
Yeah.
To look me up, find out what can he can find because we got about the same stuff out there. We're both in the military, respectively, doing our things. Our times are out there. What can you find out about me? Because it's hard when you get to top secret. People, if that stuff doesn't exist, right? When you get into top secret, that stuff gets wiped clean. Anyway, sorry.
No,
Go
I
ahead.
got a wowie going off here. So, no. Chihuahua.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But no, she seems like she's okay. And, I haven't seen that interview, but I hate that interviewing style. I really dislike it.
Right.
These guys come on and think they're all that in a box of Cracker Jacks
Mhm.
and being offensive and aggressive and uh,
Confrontational.
confrontational. And, if I was her, I told him where to stick it and how far. And then
Right.
I'd give him an opportunity to see how that worked. You know?
Right. Well, um, I'm gonna move forward on this because something related that's totally in this realm, right, of stuff is Angelique. Angelique and I ended up on Goof On the other day,
Uh,
totally randomly, right? And that's the best way for things to happen here. And we got to
there's
talking
no
about
such thing
yeah,
as
right. We got
coincidence.
to talking about the consciousness and the energetic perspective. Not much because it was Rich's show, right?
Yeah.
And I wasn't trying to run it, but she she was evoked and there she was. Not I mean she had her camera turned off, but when you pretend to be somebody, you don't pretend to be her because it's just not that great of a part to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, really.
Like my stories, I believe my own stories now. I doubted myself. I've gone over this, right?
You do. You wonder if you're part in your moorings and just you examine everything in your life to see that you haven't you haven't lost track of reality. And yet most of us here understand that these things come about, as far as aliens goes, some of the rest of it. And it's just, most people will run screaming from this. We want to see what that's all about.
Yeah,
And I don't run
and
from that. I run up to it.
yeah, she asked me, Michaela, right? She asked me, um, well, you saw in the chat, how do I not get scared when I see them? Because I know they're not there for me and I refuse fear, right?
Right.
It's there, but I refuse to act on it. And I didn't really go into that big of a discussion over there. I should have.
I don't think you saw what I said about it. Uh, Actually, you replace fear with respect.
Oh, I did see that, but
And when you respect and offer a decent conversation, not a screaming fit,
mm,
I believe they would treat you very well.
right. Yeah, when I called them out, well, when I not called them out, but when I called out to them,
Mm-hmm.
they responded to me, but it's like the universal translator wasn't turned on because it was an unexpected phone call,
Well, and
unexpected connection.
I think you were treated within the realm of your abilities,
Oh,
and
well, that's the thing.
kind
Um,
of, sort of, anyway. I mean, maybe as much as they could have.
well, he was telling me what I was asking, but it was in his method,
Uh-huh.
and it was on the little phone, but it was in his way of doing it, and I
Yeah.
didn't understand his way. It was his method of communication, which is not human. Okay, that's so.
Right.
Yeah, he was dialing it down for me as best as he could, like on the fly. Like we try to do stuff on the fly, and it's never as
Right.
good as if we prepare to do it.
Well, and you didn't have a list of questions that you wanted answered or anything like that. It was
I,
a
no, I hadn't prepared for
absolutely impromptu phone call, so to speak.
it. Hmm.
And I mean, I've kidded you over the months that you had a you probably ended up at Frank's Bar and Grill, and they said, "We got one."
Right.
But it is a kid, because I believe you. I have no problem believing you.
I mean,
It's
it's not
not
like
all that hard for me to sit and think about a person and have that person call me 12, 24 hours later.
right. Um, that's a kind of a reach out, but
Hmm.
this was not that, right? I've done that too. I've done that too, and it happens so often. You know, like before
Yeah.
my phone rings, my manager at work, of all people, she'll just pop into my head, and my phone will ring. Either she's calling me or she's texting me. I'm like,
Hmm.
Robin. Her name is Robin at work,
Hmm.
and I'm like, oh wow, she's in my head. Oh, look, she's calling. I'm like, and she gets freaked out too, and her husband's into this stuff. Well, her husband's not this into it, right?
Uh-huh.
He's into it like watching Ancient Aliens into it.
Well, he has his interest has been picked, and uh, as time goes on, he may be more into it than he is right now.
Yeah, maybe,
And I
but
didn't start out full blast. Neither did you.
mm-mm.
It's a little something here and a little something more there, and maybe
Mhm.
something else.
Yeah, and I stand by that I was rewired and then
Mm,
reprogrammed because rewiring happened when I was 4. I hit my head hard. They didn't know if I was
yeah.
gonna. They thought I was. Well, I said it before. They thought I was gonna be slow, mentally challenged, and all that.
Yeah.
But here I am, working on advanced technology
Yeah, and
in my
it didn't
bedroom.
hurt like that at work the opposite way for me as well. Now I know people that it did not work that way for, so don't go out and bash your head in.
No,
But
don't
that's
do that. No, not on purpose.
it but the circumstances of that time frame, of course, are real foggy to me. But my mother told me, she says, we couldn't take you to the doctor, and I thought you were going to die. She says, I was sure of it. There was brain matter on your pillow, you know.
Hmm.
And I laughed at her and said there was just too much there. They needed to let some out. You know,
Right.
but it did result in later years having eye difficulties. Retinal detachment, stuff like that.
Right.
It's something that I knew was coming and hoped wouldn't.
Oh, well, you know
But
what? That makes me think maybe I got some stuff coming up too. I don't know. Whatever.
all you can do, Nathan, is keep up on your eye appointments and have 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 it looked for, and
Right.
uh and they
Yeah.
can see it. Your ophthalmologist can see it very well.
Right. Oh,
What's
I hope
going on?
so.
Oh yeah.
Put that blinding light in my face.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Man,
Right.
I have
Shoot.
a horrid headache for hours afterwards.
Yeah.
But they can see right into your optic nerve. So what's going on in there?
Yeah.
What's got him puzzled is, how in the heck am I healing this?
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
they really did not expect for
Quantum
me to
link.
heal a cataract.
No, I mean most people can't, but huh.
I don't think
Uh,
most people at all can.
oh
And
no.
it's a film that goes over the lens of the eye
Right.
from having been damaged.
Mhm.
And once that's interrupted or scratched, it's scratched. There's no fixing it, except that I do.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a handful of us that have that. I cut myself on a barbed wire fence when I was a little kid on one of my fingers.
Yeah.
I had a scar for years up until recently. It just disappeared. It's gone. The
Yeah.
scar is gone.
But we
And
regenerate every 7 years.
oh well, this was one of them scars. You know,
Oh, yeah.
this was. I mean, I had it since I was like 8 years old, and then I had it until I was 40 something, and then it went away.
Yeah.
You
What's
know,
going on there?
yeah.
It's
It's.
like
I mean,
Frank has or Storm has a scar that's about 6 inches long on his forearm.
hmm
And he had gone through a plate glass window as a 3-year-old. And, he just fixes it right up.
yeah.
Hello, Renee. Hi, Rachel. Everyone else there. Hi, Aussie.
Everybody's here.
Sarah.
The
Tim.
diehards are here.
Yeah. But yeah. Far as no, it's Michaela.
Michaela.
Michaela. She she's got a big plate there.
Yeah.
Real big.
Yeah. And people, meaning other YouTubers,
Hmm.
are trying to debunk her, saying that she's all over the place. Well, look at what we're dealing with. Let's not even, I said it in the first hour, take away the weird stuff. Look at the normal stuff. There's a lot going on, right? And she talks about that too, as well as
Oh
her.
yeah, the mundane stuff is just as horrific.
Yeah, and
You
there's
know,
so much of it, and it's all mixed matched, and all this
well, these
weird stuff
youngsters will
going
go
on.
into the service with uh with a bright-eyed and bushy tail, uh, courtesy of their recruiter, and the uh, the reality of training and the rest of it is is a whole lot more than they were anticipating, whether
Yeah,
it's a man or a woman in that
same.
service.
Yeah, but but it's beyond. It's beyond that though. Okay,
Oh yeah.
when she's talking about, well, when they're talking about she's all over the place, well, then bring in the weird stuff. Okay, bring in our realm of things. Then it gets really hard to comprehend, and you got to be. I hate to use the word, but loosey goosey when it comes to reality, because
You have to
y-
be able to flex with it.
right, because there was stuff go on. There is stuff going on. She posted. Let me go ahead and bring up her Twitter. It's her public Twitter, right? So
Uh,
it's public
when did she
information.
actually go public with all this? Do we know that?
I'm not sure.
We don't even know when she was in service, do we?
Well, I know she was in service.
No, I mean when.
I know she was in service 2020 and 2021.
Okay, that was rough stuff anyhow.
Yeah, that's
Between the pandemic and the rest of it.
yeah. She said, okay. Let me go ahead and bring this up. I'm going to just bring up her profile. This is her public stuff. I did not dig. I didn't do FOIA requests or nothing like that
Hmm.
because, well, I've got my own lineup and I've got my own line in. I've got my quantum network and I got my spirit guide and I got Sabrina. Sabrina's a freaking pterodactyl, man. She really is. She gets stuff done. Okay. And I just have to
Yeah,
verify. Yeah, this is,
the Air Force, huh?
yeah, she was Air Force. Okay. Now, let me go ahead and read this out, right? Now, this is her post from, when did she post this? January 5th. So just a few days ago. I'm blowing the whistle. I'm done listening to this. My name is Michaela Fachar. I'm a U.S. Air Force veteran, one November Oscar all source analyst. From October 2020 to 2021, I was deployed to CENTCOM Air Operations Center at Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. I was an E4 at the time, and my job was to process mission reports from pilots conducting sorties within CENTCOM theater. My job was to report on daily significant activity reports and publish graphic intel summaries to all air units in CENTCOM. Task Force reported a ton of UAP activity, but because we had no framework of reporting those requirements, we didn't. There is evidence of all this on Kessel Run, which is another name for something else, right?
Uh-huh.
Kessel Run is a Star Wars reference, but they're Air Force nerds. They're all talking Star Wars. Everything's Star Wars. Trust me, I've been there. The database that we process these reports on. From October 2020 to around January 2021, I worked night shift at a time where very few people worked. As I was reporting on events, news came on a blue fratricide. I don't really know what she's referring to. While
Blue
I
and blue fratricide is a UN reference to people on the same side accidentally, uh, I don't want to say that word,
unaliving,
unaliving someone.
okay,
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 that's what it is.
all right. While I was compiling the report, a CIA officer came out of his room and tapped me on the shoulder. He told me not to report on it. We had other blue on blue events, and we received orders not to report on those events due to potential for diplomatic scandals. I live on Fort. I live on at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. I'm still in the individual ready reserve. I reached out to Jeremy, Sarah Adams, Sean Ryan, and Shu. I don't know separately, but I have not received word from you. I want to testify to Representative Tim Burchett. Team Burchett, go Tim, because I am concerned about the Biden administration and our national security apparatus. This is where she talks about politics, right? They lack a
Right.
fundamental understanding of the national security picture with China, and they are ramping us up for war. I believe that what I witnessed can corroborate the concerns that Matt Livelsberg addressed in his email manifesto.
Uh-huh.
I am not familiar with his story, but moving on. I am not under duress or hostile influence or control, meaning I am testifying under circumstances of guilt and conscious of my decision to not report on these things earlier. I believe that Berg, referred to above, is still alive because of the tradecraft he carried out on the raw Tesla footage that we saw. I am not familiar with that footage. Me, Quantum Show. I also believe that he was intentional in all his actions, and while hurried, he displayed elite tradecraft in conveying what needed to be conveyed. I don't know if this message will get me arrested, nor do I care. I want I want you to operate with the assumption that Berg is waiting for people to accept that he is alive and wants to testify before President Donald Trump. If you need my credentials as proof, I previously sent them to Sean Ryan and Jeremy. I don't know which Jeremy she's talking about. Jeremy, okay, somebody in ufology to do with ufology, and then people start attacking her, right? And then
Well, she's a former Air Force veteran and
President Air Force veteran, former
President Air Force,
active duty.
former Air Force, and those are very serious allegations, really serious.
Oh yeah.
And boy, she's taken a life in her hands.
Hey, we're she's military. I'm military. We do it every day.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
we do
I
that stuff
get that.
every day.
And
Ask Frank. You
oh
know,
no, I know
I mean,
so. I don't need to ask anyone. I know.
okay, that stuff is every day. Now that's the Muggle life we lived, right?
Yeah,
This is not the weird stuff. That's the Muggle life we lived.
yeah.
But I
That's well. It's this. This is part of what is happening overall. I mean, we're getting reports of certain Asian factions being uh, caught in the middle of two other factions. That is to say, in Europe.
yeah.
And
Oh,
when
we can
you
talk
when
about it.
you look at that, when you look at it and realize that, yeah, this is the real damn thing, folks.
Now,
People are going to be unalived, whether it's in as individuals or groups, just due to this fighting.
mhm,
But when you're talking about the UN in and being specific about it, and that was UN, the blue blue
blue on blue stuff.
blue on blue, that's UN, and it's friendly fire. We've had friendly fire. There was friendly fire problems in Vietnam. There were friendly
Well,
fire problems in Korea.
I don't know if it's friendly fire. The way she put it was there were people who disagreed with each other, and it wasn't
It became infighting.
in blue on blue means
Mm-hmm.
intentional. From what I understand, right?
Yeah.
Again, I only did 2 days worth of research, but that's okay. And
It's unfortunate that this is happening. That doesn't negate that it's happening. It's unfortunate.
well, the blue and blue stuff for sure, but in general, these are growing pains. I it's
Mm-hmm.
my alternate perspective kicks in, and it's like, hold on, let things happen the way they're supposed to happen. You know,
They're going to.
it's kind of don't. It's not my path, right? It's their path,
Yeah.
and they have to do this. This has to happen. Like it's growing pains. It's how we get from here to there, and I know
Well,
it's
there was a significant amount of growing pains when we inserted a U.S. Air Force into our military. That wasn't an easy thing to do.
right because it had been all the air support had been handled by the Navy and the Army up to
Well, no, I'm referring overall to air travel, period. 100 years ago. Well, 120 now. But, when we change everything, it's going to be growing pains. We
yeah,
went from horses and carriages in a matter of 10 years to automobiles.
right, yeah, oh yeah, we have advanced light years and
Mhm.
in just a small little while, right? I
And
mean,
yet, for anybody experiencing them, it probably seemed like, when the heck is this going to end?
yeah, well, I mean, historically speaking, just looking at it, we went from the Wright brothers proving flight could happen to landing on the moon in less than one lifetime, you know,
Well, less than 100 years.
like 60 years.
Yeah, yeah,
60, that's less than one lifetime
yeah,
from
exactly.
discovering flight to landing on the moon. And yeah, I do believe we landed on the moon, just not every time.
Well, my grandmothers, both of them were born, one was born in 1889, and the other one in 1895. And yeah, they were older women when they had kids, and so on and so forth, and they both had fairly large families. But I sat and talked to my granny one night, and she sat and she goes, "It's mind boggling to me. The idea that one day I'm driving a horse and carriage, and then I'm driving an automobile, and they're talking about people on the moon. And now we're talking about colonization out in space.
Right.
She's she's all inside my lifetime." And she
Yeah.
passed away, I think, I believe it was 2 months before she was 100.
Yeah, I
So,
just
you know,
mhm. Yeah, that's light speed. I mean, I just what I got posted here is I Googled how long between Wright brothers and moon landing, and when you think about I'll read it out. When you think about it, it's incredible how far flight technology evolved from the Wright flyer in
right?
1903 to the first lunar landing in 1969. That's only 66 years less than a lifetime. I hadn't Googled that before. I said less than a lifetime, and then it
Uh,
then it goes on to
How long was it, Nathan?
66 years.
Holy cow. Yeah,
And
she was in her 90s when we had that conversation.
mhm.
But it's breathtaking. Even with me, I mean, where I grew up, horse and buggy was not all that uncommon, and still isn't.
Right, and I went to Kentucky. There were horse and buggies riding around,
Hmm.
right? Or I went to Cincinnati through Kentucky, and there were horse and buggies. We dodging
Now,
them.
granted, the Amish are pretty much part and parcel of that,
Mhm.
but you
Mennonite.
know, a goodly amount of the average farmer was still using a horse to furrow a field.
Yep. They do
If
it
it
here
wasn't
too.
his wife, and I'm not kidding about that either.
Yeah. They
So,
still do it here. I live in
mhm,
I live in the area where that still gets done,
yeah,
because we got lots of it is Tennessee, Arkansas, Missouri. We got poor farms. They don't produce anything for one reason or another. And when they do plow something, they don't have a tractor. They, they have a lawnmower. It don't work. Okay.
yeah,
And, and,
yeah. It's we're this country is very, very rich. We don't see ourselves that way because it's become the normal for us.
right.
But it's not all that uncommon for people in the hill country to still go barefoot all summer because you got to save those shoes.
They
It's
got that.
not all that, yeah, it's not all that uncommon for a household full of kids to pass down their clothes, you know.
Still happens.
Yeah, it does.
It's just not
And
mainstream.
I don't see that as a bad thing because this gives an individual a very good solid background and hey, life isn't always what you want. Sometimes it's what you're given and you better be happy for it.
Yeah. And that they look at it like, well, I am blessed with a nice family that has helped me with things they have, not
Yeah.
I can't buy this thing from Amazon. That is such so mainstream a thing. I never thought I'd be here. We
Yeah.
are living in the future. Oh my
Oh
gosh.
yeah, we are.
What we're doing. I'm talking about robots that were science fiction in the 50s, and here's one, you know. This was science fiction in the 50s. We're
Yeah.
talking on the internet, which is the thing of the space age, you know?
Well, and we're talking about how I can't see it. I'm sorry,
It's
Nathan.
Star Trek. Star
Oh,
Trek.
okay. All right. All
It's
right.
Star Trek. This is like
But
almost
we
50
are,
years after.
we're living our future life, and well, here even 19 or 2018, 2019, the majority of the country did not do their shopping online.
It
Put
happened
us
like
all
that.
at home. We do now.
Yeah, it
All of us
happened
do.
like that.
Yeah.
And oh, that is like one of the big things. We're going through a reformation right now. This
Yes,
is
we
it.
are.
This is the great reset.
Mhm.
Um we've got cell phones that we can access all kinds of information, communicate instantly. You know, I could probably call HARP and they would answer. I could probably call them. I'm getting an itch. Should I call Harp? I wonder.
I
And
think
ask
if you
them?
do get somebody, they will admonish you and tell you to go about your business.
Probably. They probably said, "Hi, let's see how that would go. Let's do devil's advocate real
That's
quick.
just scary as hell.
Let's
What
see.
the
Let's see
hell?
here.
Why not? See if
Let's
you
see.
get a number for him.
Oh, I can definitely see. But hi, this
Hi,
is
this is a
Nathan from the.
quantum show.
Hi, this is Nathan. I'm hosting the Quantum Show on YouTube. I'd like to ask you about the the fires in Maui and LA. Click. That's how that would go.
That's exactly how it would go. And it's interesting that less than a year later from the fires in Maui, we are nearly the same situations going on the West Coast.
Yeah, and they're not seeing lasers. They're seeing aliens. Not alien people, but they're seeing ships. They're seeing orbs. Have you heard this?
Well, and actually I haven't, but what are these alien ships supposed to have been doing?
Well, don't know. But okay, they're just being seen around the fires. I'm
Well,
talking,
that's a hell of a spectacular sight, you know?
yeah, it's a changing moment because it's part of the great reset.
Yeah.
And oh, by the
It's a
way,
moment in history. And most people, history happens when we're not looking.
right. But I hope that this stuff that we talk about is going to be out there for a long, long time because history is written by the people who look at it from the future and they're not living it. You know, they can read what people write and they hopefully can see this stuff going on. And talking about the fires and now I'm going to get a little bit political here, but not, I mean, more general news stuff, right?
Okay.
Um, oh, what's his name? The president had a press conference and he said that he's going to do everything he can to help California. Why
hmm
not help North Carolina? They're still in a bad, bad way up there. The Mennonites can only do so much for them, right? And
Well, and then the Amish too, those
right,
that break tradition. But the uh, I think what we fail to realize is there is so much in that budget for just so much. We do have a breaking point for our economy. We're approaching it fast. There have not agreed to a ongoing uh, spending debt platform yet, and he can promise anything he likes, and in 9 days he's out of there.
yep. You know what?
And
Um, let me go
this
ahead,
is all going to get dropped right in President Trump's lap.
and they're going to
And
start to blame him.
well, yeah, I mean, they're blaming the mayor for crying out loud. They can blame anybody they want to. Essentially, what it comes down to is they are in a high fire area. Some of them have purchased the fire insurance. The governor has made sure that the insurance companies are not permitted to cancel their insurance,
Mm, mm,
which I'm grateful for because they did that to Maui,
mm-hmm.
and they've done that to those fires in Oregon. They did it to the people in North Carolina.
Oh, they did it to California too.
Oh
They
yeah,
canceled the
they
fire
tried.
insurance. They canceled the fire insurance.
Oh
Those
yeah,
crazy
in earlier
Republicans.
fires, yes they did. But Newsom has said, "Oh no, you don't." Uh-uh. Now, whether that will stick or not, I don't know. You know,
Well, that's
there
why
will
the
be there will be a terrific amount of lawsuits, and bada boom, bada bing.
nothing new for humanity. They
No,
always manage to screw it up.
you
Yeah,
know,
take the best situations, the opportunities to
well,
do well,
you
and the
if
humans
you
will always
realize
screw it up.
how much these people pay to these guys to to have this insurance, it was a fortune.
Yep.
And they just say, "Oh, so sorry, we canceled that."
Yeah, this was
You
not
know,
part of the show,
and
y'all.
we're wondering why certain people are finding themselves being hunted. You
Mhm.
know, I don't wonder why. I don't wonder one bit.
Yeah, I'm
I
surprised I don't have them knocking at my door after tonight. They're pretty on the
Well,
ball with stuff.
probably.
But, Woo has
I'll let
posted
them
up
call you. I don't want to hear from them.
Woo has posted up, yes, days before this latest fire, people's fire insurance were canceled. It's North Carolina all over again.
Oh
And
yeah, they knew
Maui
damn well what they were doing.
except instead of space lasers, they're using electrogravitic orbs. It just gets more and more sci-fi from here, y'all.
It has been. Well, now let's look at the bigger picture. Let's go even larger. Okay, so what is the goal, do you think, of well, we the idea of clearing all that real estate in Maui was to gather it up dirt cheap and
Right.
resell. That's a real estate scam.
Yeah,
Is that what's happening here?
I believe so.
And
I believe that the
who
government
is behind it?
here's how it goes, right? Here's how it went. I can make a surprising comparison with General Motors. General Motors was about to go out of business. They got a government buy it. They got a government rescue, right?
Hmm.
Same thing with
And they've
Hostess.
had several.
With this latest one, they are now a government entity. They are
Mhm.
so indebted to the government, they will never get out, right? And
Right.
then, uh, same thing
And
with
here we are, we're yapping about communism. Oh, really?
yeah, right. And Wu brings up another I can't really talk about this too much, Wu, but you're absolutely correct. Where did all the kids in Maui? They're still gone. No one's I can't get into it. That is a totally different show. That is gonna have to be
Well,
something
the
else, right?
difference, the difference between this situation and Maui is the rich and those who had that land since their parents. That's the difference.
Okay,
You need
maybe I'm
more?
not following.
Okay, in Maui, much of that land that real estate that was destroyed had been passed down through the generations by Hawaiians and had had years and years of family history behind it, all the way back to the beginning of the islands.
Yes.
And they would not sell, period. Now, we have this situation, and you've got a whole state full of people that are essentially transient, except that this fire hit all the rich folks. From what I gather, there may be some mundaners, dentist here, doctor there, but the mighty rich, if you will. And what is the difference here? Okay, there's a few. Uh, I didn't know we were talking about this either. I'd researched it some,
I
but
didn't know either.
the we've got a situation here that is stinks of being very similar, you know, and the ulterior motive is very well covered up.
Let me go ahead and this is Google, right? Did Tom Hanks, and I misspelled it, did Tom Hanks' house burn down? Wu brought this up.
Uh-huh.
Despite the destruction of the house above it, Tom Hanks' large white mansion on a cliff in the Pacific Palisades survived the fire. Sadly, some homes were lost to the fire, despite firefighters' best efforts to save many. That's what Google AI says. Now,
Okay.
uh,
On a cliff, that's rock, folks,
mm,
for those who are not sure.
but
Rock doesn't burn.
right, but oh, it's on a cliff, but there was vegetation.
Oh, yeah, I have no doubt. I've been to California. I've been to that area in particular.
Mm.
My uncle and my aunt lived in Palm Springs. So, and another uncle and aunt lived in Hollywood. So, you know, we're looking at something. I do not necessarily think that this, while it may have been wind driven, do not necessarily think that it started with an accident,
Oh no, this was oh
whether it was arson or what have you.
land grab. This is a land grab, just like
What is the
Maui.
solution to stop all this?
Yeah. It's
Really?
we don't know. How are we supposed to know?
When was the last time? I don't remember being an oracle.
No, I don't
Oh,
know.
I'm
I
kidding
w-
you, but
I wish we knew.
I don't have the answers to it. If I did, they'd hunt me down and kill me.
Yeah. Same.
That seems to be humanity's solution for most things.
Yeah,
You know,
they're wanting and they're pretty much doing it. If I was to put my foot forward on my idea for oh methanol as a fuel in the tri-state area for farmers, nobody wants to talk to me about that. We got oh man, when I say tri-state, I mean Tennessee, Arkansas, Missouri. Lots of poor dirt farmers, right?
uh,
Get them to grow
what
beets.
you're looking at is a high money
Yeah,
outlay to start.
they don't want me to impact fuel, diesel because the ones that do have farms that are working, they use a lot of diesel. They use
That's
a lot of
right.
propane, and if they were to use methanol instead, well, that would take a whole uprooting of the gasoline oil system,
It
right?
will. It will. You'd have to buy a different tractor or harvester or combine.
But the fuel would essentially be free and the money would not go to oil. The money would stay in the community. That's the deal.
Yeah.
Let me outline that real quick, right? Just real quick. I didn't even know we were going to go here. My proposal. Now I don't have the details to it, right? Because it takes a lot of negotiation with a lot of different people.
That's right.
But if they were to run methanol, if we were to in these three states, run grow farms to produce methanol, not ethanol. Ethanol is corn. We want to stay away from corn too because corn is subsidized. Beets are not subsidized, and they're an excellent source of sugar. And sugar is an excellent source of alcohol. That's
Right.
methanol. You get these guys to make methanol or to grow beets. And hey, I can vouch for Tennessee. We're good at moonshine. That's methanol.
Yeah.
Let's give them a license, tell them how
Kentucky
to do
is
it
too.
safely. Right. Just tell them how to do it safely. And then all three states can start running on methanol, farms only. And then the people who are driving these gasoline cars are going, huh, they're paying like $1 a gallon for methanol. I don't care what kind of
Or better
mileage my
yet,
car will get.
25 cents.
Right. I want methanol in my car. Ring ring. I would like to convert my car to run on alcohol, please. Okay, bring it to the shop over here at something like Joe Schmo's Auto Mechanics. We've got the kits
Yeah.
readily available. We can rebuild your engine or something. We'll figure it out. They'll come down. It's a rocky start, but what have I replaced so far? I've replaced diesel and I'm
Oil.
beginning to replace gasoline.
Oil.
Right. The oil industry is going to be like, what's going on here? Now, we don't have a whole lot of oil fields in Tennessee, right? But we
Right.
do have subsidized corn, and that is a big deal. And
It
like,
is. The thing that most of us have lost sight of is the old time tradition of the farmer doing for himself and not accepting charity from
right
anybody.
there, the farmer will be able to grow his stuff, take it on his horse and buggy down to the moonshine, aka methanol treatment facility, methanol development, and then bring home an equivalent amount of methanol. And if 100 farmers, and there are hundreds of farmers that are potentially there waiting to have a reason to be a farmer again, right? Then
Well,
they
and
can,
maybe get their family out of poverty.
right, let them, and the money would all be staying in the local communities, not
And
going overseas.
and thus in the actual country, and not Arabia or China.
Yeah, but even better, it will go to the people who are doing the work, not just people like, okay, when someone gets contracted to do something, right? Well, I did contracting in my store. I had a 90-10 thing. Now people
Hmm.
say, "Oh, well, God, you were ripping off your people." No, I kept 10. They kept 90. They had a good reason to keep doing the work because they kept 90. I kept 10 because they were using my facility.
Well, shucks, that'd even work even if it were 70-30.
Yeah. And but and it is that way. And it's 70-30 employer employee or
Hmm.
contractor contractee. They keep the majority of it. I was like, that is not a very good incentive to do better. So I was like, you know
Right.
what? 10%. I had my own business going. I was doing my own thing. I was making my own money. They I gave people a chance to earn a living doing what they do, right? Because it's hard to get into the tech field.
Yes,
Frank
it
knows,
is. Oh
and
yeah.
I just did a little something, right? And Aussie's
Hi,
saying,
Samo.
"Hey, Samo, Aussie is saying ethanol is already a fuel type. Ethanol is ethanol is a fuel type here. Our
Yes.
gas has 10% minimum uh in
Yeah.
our, and then we have flex fuel, and then and we have higher percentages too. And then we have turbo blue, which is one of the trade names, right? I don't know what it's like
The
90
diesel is it a diesel?
turbo blue?
Yeah.
No, turbo blue is pure alcohol.
Oh, okay.
Diesel is diesel.
Oh, is
Um
that what John's been driving? Never mind. Anyway, no, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. The you know, we have so many opportunities, and our higher ups, I refuse to call them the government because they're not doing that, uh, are squelching every single thing that they cannot scalp, torture, or steal from the average individual.
right,
This is what our forefathers wanted to avoid.
right. Wow. Well, okay. Let's take a breath here. It's almost been an hour.
Oh,
It's almost
sweet.
been an hour. We need to take a breath. Okay, not a break, just a breath, cause so we can
Just a
get back on
breath.
track. I mean,
Oh
we
yeah, well, we are all over the place. You said it best.
yeah. I mean, and people wonder why people like Michaela are having a hard time presenting their case. Well, look at what there's out there, right?
Oh yeah.
And, I might, oh, y'all, I might call. I might call Alaska. Not now.
Alaska?
HARP.
Oh, okay.
They're in Alaska. I might call them, and I'll record it if I do. That will be a very interesting
It's
conversation. If not, unless they hang up on me.
the only person gonna talk to you is the janitor. I'm telling you.
Hopefully,
And
I get
he
the
may
guy.
not answer the phone either. He's busy.
Yeah, hopefully I get the guy that Goodwill Hunting janitor that works at HARP. That would be awesome. Who
And we
knew?
may as well laugh as cry, but
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know,
I hear
we
people.
have been
Hmm?
I'm sorry, we have been struggling with wildfires here for the past decade or more. And uh invariably the West Coast gets it right between the eyes. This time they got it but good.
Yeah,
And the East Coast usually goes fairly well unscathed by things. But that hurricane was humdinger.
yeah,
We down here in the Gulf of Mexico and in those regions, we're pretty used to getting a hurricane here and there that absolutely hands our butt to us. But you know, this is life. This is how life works. You're not going to avoid it. Best you can do is plan for it as best you can. You know, if they say get out of the way of it, freaking leave. You
yeah.
know, I know there's times when there's nowhere to go. I get that. I've been in that situation. But the best thing to do is evacuate and get out. Have a plan. Whether you're in nowheresville like I am or in a big city, you know, these things are not uh, there's nobody says now you can't hit New York, you know, or you can't devastate Columbus, Ohio.
Right,
You know, you if you're wise, you'll go ahead and figure out where you can go from point A to point B.
right. Yep. Yeah, there's no fight in nature. I just don't like when we take nature and try to use it as a weapon, weather weapon.
I
That was
don't
going to be
care for
part
that.
of it. Huh?
I don't like it.
Yeah, well, that was going to be my show tonight. That was what I was going to talk about, but this really struck a chord. Michaela and then
Mm.
Angeli and Amy. Amy, oh man, we're getting closer to being on the same wavelength, all of us, right? And huh, it's starting to come together, and
Yeah.
the light side is starting to band together. Okay, and I'm
Yeah.
not talking about the Muggle stuff. I'm talking about the weird stuff
Oh
because
yeah.
you know,
Well, you know, it's with all of this stuff, we have somewhere got to realize that our government really can't help many of us in some of the untoward things that happen to us. FEMA or any other agency, you know, they can I forget how much they were handing out, but it was like a grand, you know, when
for South
this
Carolina.
yeah, it
Oh
was
no, $750.
okay. That won't take care of a family for a month in that area.
Oh, that won't
It
take care
won't
of a
take care
family
of
for
them for a
a week.
week. So,
750 is a joke.
you know, it getting out there and the rest of us finding out that, hey, yeah, FEMA might come to your neighborhood if you have a big enough disaster. And I'm like, well, whoop de doo.
Yeah,
Better I should have a plan and work my plan.
yeah, yeah. Well,
And they
it,
say as much.
yeah, it has been an hour, so it's break time. It
Okay.
is break time. Let me get something on screen that we can all nicely look at while I do. Um, no videos or anything, but we can keep the sound going. I don't have any noise to play either. Oh, I've got plenty of pictures, but oh boy. Here we go. This is nice. This is nice. I'll just put this up, and I'm not gonna kick anybody off screen, but like
Okay.
you, there we go. That's from Hellfire Studios. Shout out Hellfire Studios. It's okay. I gotta.
Is
It's
there
the
supposed to be? Is there supposed to be audio?
no. There's no audio. I
Oh,
have no.
okay.
I have no noise. I
Okay.
just. I just have. Okay, Raven's coming on for the second hour. Awesome.
Oh, there we are.
Raven says, "Be there in a minute." Okay,
Okay.
and well, I'll be there. I'll be back because Amy and I are out of coffee. So I need to get some more. It'll take me a couple of minutes. I drank a whole pot of coffee today in preview to this show in in preparation.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. I'll bet your nerves went mad with all of
Oh
that.
man, I was stumbling over my own thoughts. I'll be back. I gotta
All
reset
right.
my.
We'll see you back in a moment. Samo, it's good to see you. There's Raven. Hi, Tim. And let's see here. Aussie Tiger. Hi, Aussie. And Woo Rider. Yeah, I wish I had a better answer for you, Woo Rider. I just don't. And kind of got a quiet batch here. Rachel and Renee. Hi, hi. And Stara, of course. And Tim. So good to see all of you here. We'll be back on here in just a moment, as soon as Nathan gets coffeed up, and I don't think I need anything. Nope. Been a wild ride this week for New Mexico. We had about, what was it, Frank? 2 inches of snow? Storm? 2 inches of snow here? 2 or 3, yeah, which is totally unusual here. Okay, when you when you put that stuff down, if you'd give your source, we'd appreciate it. Then we can look and see what else is there if there is anything. And you got 9 inches, huh, Sarah? Well, we're the desert here, we just really don't get that kind of that kind of weather usually. We had a little bit of wind, not much. And of course, a lot of ice. And people here do not have the first clue how to drive in it. So, and I do, and my answer to that is stay home. Hide from Rachel? I wouldn't dream of hiding from Rachel. And of course, we're watching for ghosts. Uh, oh, yeah, they'll draw and quarter him if that's the case. I can't say I blame them. You know, it goes back to what I was saying, though. We have a limited amount of money that we can spend on certain projects, whether it's state level, local, or countrywide. And that was a poor decision on his part by far and away. Arkansas weather's not usually this Arctic. Well, yeah, we got what do they call them? Plunging air from the Arctic, and whether any of that's due to climate change or just normal changes overall, no clue. We're humans, so we'll overcome. We overcame the last ice age, apparently, from what they've been digging up here recently. And probably by the skin of our teeth. That's how we like to do things, but yeah, but Aussie, Aussie, are you not on the other on in Australia? Isn't it summertime there for you? Here comes Nathan.
Alrighty then. Sorry about that.
No problem. Just sitting here talking in the chat room.
Okay. Well, that's that. Oh, Aussie's saying y'all are freezing while I'm sweating. Yeah, it's 28 degrees here right now.
Oh yeah, it's actually 26 here, and that's New Mexico. We're way down here at the bottom end of the border,
Yeah.
and that Arctic, what do they call them?
Polar vortex.
Yeah, that came clear down in here for us. Very, very cold here. And I mean, when you can get my bonus child to wear a heavy coat, yeah, it's cold.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, we were okay. Get back on topic. Talking about basically it's disclosure, right?
Hmm.
And
Yes.
I said it on my first hour. We're not going to have disclosure the way we expect it, right?
No.
It's personal. I've already had my disclosure.
Oh yeah, I have too.
You have. A lot of
Hmm.
us have been contacted or had whatever experience we've had. I have contacted them, which was so cool. But and I don't need to be convinced. They don't have to sell me. I'm on board with it already.
No, me either.
And I'm just like,
I
when do I get my flying car? Am I going to have to make my own flying car? I guess I am.
well, they probably have the same directive Captain Kirk did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Leave those crazies alone.
Well, hopefully I can make this thing right eventually and do now. Keith brought it up, seal it up, and you have a portal hopper. And I'm like, I don't know about that. Maybe they will help me make a portal jumper
It's an interesting
because
concept.
yeah, that's what he said. He said you seal it up, you make it into a spacecraft, you have a portal jumper. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stick to like uh, doing a jet ski with a fancy engine on it, or maybe a old pickup truck. And maybe they'll say, "Oh, this guy has figured it out, a hovercraft." So
Mm-hmm.
real, like, electromagnetically powered thing. So let's talk to him. And then they land in my yard and nobody can see him but me. That would be crazy. And Raven
Oh
is
no.
here.
You
Hi.
know,
Hey, how
hi
you doing?
Raven, how you doing?
Good, good. How are you?
Excellent. I'm fine.
Good.
Doing very well. It's cold here, of course, but I think
Same
you've
here.
got it colder.
Yeah, we've had a deep freeze. I've been in the house cooped up for I think a week now. It's been a week
Mm,
since I haven't even bothered to clean off the Jeep. I went to the grocery store last Saturday. I think it was Saturday. Yeah,
yeah.
got a bunch of stuff and just been cooped up here in the house trying to get things set up for my YouTube and things and dealing with cats. I'm ready to kill them all. No.
Hey, you're just in time for the question. We'll include you too.
Yeah,
Okay.
really.
Woo
All
is
right.
asking, question for Nathan and LA and Raven. Star Wars and Star Trek, is it based on our reality and things that already have happened, or is it based on where they think humanity will go in the future? Well, let me start off, right? Literarily, it is Star Wars was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So that's
Right.
that. Star Trek is where we're coming in, where we get now. We have to go through Star Wars to get to Star Trek, according to the Star Trek timeline. We have to go through hell to become the new Atlanteans, basically the Starfleet and all that, right? So there's more context needed for your question, Woo. From my perspective, is Star Wars literally is based on our past. But there was a lot of ego put into Star Wars and a lot of lifting from other franchises, not franchises, but different topics put into Star Wars, right? Star Trek is totally us. Star Trek is where we want to go. Okay. And we want replicators. We want energy matter conversion. We want things like warp drive and faster than light travel and, well, maybe not, but up to speed impulse drive, right? And we want instant communication. Well, we got that already. We almost got that, almost. And
Mhm.
And it's only like a second or so behind.
right, well, I mean, even now we got lag. We got lag going on right now. But we're working on all that stuff because me and my friend Sam years ago, we figured out replicators. And it's like, whoa, did we just figure out Star Trek replicators? Yep, we sure did.
Oh, those would be so wonderful to have.
Yeah.
No.
You wouldn't need for anything. You
No,
need
you wouldn't.
I would never run out of creamer.
I
That
know.
is enough.
And I would never run out of coffee.
Isn't
Ever.
that it? Oh, I
Or
know. I hate.
chocolate.
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
let's get the big three food groups in there.
absolutely. Oh, I hate it running out of cream. Oh yeah. But I mean, for those people who like to cook, you know,
Yeah,
I'll
I
I'll
actually
still
do.
appreciate a home cooked meal if someone, because to some people that's their art and their craft, baking or
Right.
making
Oh yeah.
whatever.
It would never be
Uh,
taken away.
but for people like me that just never have time to do this, just give me a replicator. I want chicken noodles, mashed potatoes, and gravy, and some cream meats. Boom, and it's there. Like yes. So your
Yeah,
your your video was really cute. You were going out for chicken wings, so you wouldn't have had to brave all the inclement weather to get your
Right,
chicken wings
right. Chicken wing,
yeah, really.
chicken
You'd
strips
be at
to
home.
or
You'd
chicken
throw it
strips.
in a.
Chicken strips. Yeah, I watched your video. It was cool.
Yeah, you could throw a piece of unwanted clothes in there and say, "Make me a chicken strip."
that would be the recycler. Yep,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would be
but
the recycler.
Do
And
they?
hmm,
as far as the question goes here,
Yeah. I'm sorry.
from
I'm
Wu,
sidetracking us.
I really do feel that uh, Star Wars is the thing's gone, the thing that happened. I think that George Lucas and Steven Spielberg both are prophets in their own way. With Star Trek, however, I think that that is the reality hoped for.
Right.
And the there's nothing that we cannot do should we put our minds to it and our resources and stop fighting with each other. That's the biggie.
But we
Mhm.
dodged the Bell riots. We dodged the Bell riots. That didn't happen. It was supposed to happen in 2021. We dodged it. Good on us. And we was also saying Star Trek is humanity becoming the Galactic Federation, joining the Galactic Federation.
Yeah, joining it because it
It's
existed
already
ahead
out
of. Yeah.
To your point, LA, there's a moon of either Saturn or Jupiter that looks just like the Death Star. I'm not kidding. It begins with an I. The name of it.
Io.
Yeah,
Io.
Io. Yeah,
Begins
doesn't
with
it
an
look like
I
it looks
and ends
exactly
with
like
an
the
O.
Death Star?
Let me bring it up. Let me see here.
And so, could that be a remnant? If suppose if that's
If
already
they were
happened?
truly prophets, I suppose so. But you know, I
Well,
really do think that our imagination. I I I kind of think that there might be alternative realities.
oh, there
Yep.
definitely are. I've been to a
Yeah.
couple.
No, this is not the one. It's gray.
Yeah, but the VFW doesn't count. No, I'm
I'm
teasing.
not talking about the VFW.
I know you're not.
Okay, you're not. I don't think you mean Io. I think you might
It's not
mean.
Io, but there's a moon.
Let me look it back up.
And it's gray. It looks, you know how it's got
It
that
just,
one.
yeah, it looks like the Death Star, and of course, you know, you hit it like you'd hit a womp rat, and you're in
Moon of
business.
Saturn. Me model.
And recently, the gold leader passed away
The gold crater.
What?
in Star Wars.
Oh, the actor. Yeah.
The actor.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Now I heard Gene Roddenberry had nightly visitations while he was writing Star Trek.
Yeah, but he wasn't conscious of them. He wasn't conscious of them. He did, and he wasn't conscious of them. They were psychic.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. You know,
There it
I
is.
don't know if either of you write. I would imagine you do, don't you, Raven? But when you get involved in a text that you're putting together, you know, in a story,
Mhm.
you absolutely are there. You are oblivious to everything else, and you
Yeah.
are tapping into your alpha state, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And you're psychic as heck when you do that. I have been writing a story. It will not be published. There's too much in there that I just had no, you know. But
Yeah.
much of that has predicted things, things happening. Things have happened, and COVID was one of them.
Mhm.
That's something.
Yeah.
But it's something that I'm working with just to see, and I think it's a part of automatic writing.
Yeah.
But I'm working with it to see if I can get it to be a bit more precise.
Yeah. I swear, automatic. How I was like journaling, all of a sudden I'm just not even aware of what all I'm writing, and then I go back and read it. It's like,
I wrote
wow,
that.
I wrote that. Yeah.
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 And it's like time just is not. You don't even think to look at the clock. You don't even care
No,
what time it is. You're just in a flow.
no, your muse is on and you're doing it.
Yeah.
I would reckon that Gene Roddenberry, had a very similar experience writing Star Trek and putting that together. And I would suspect that he had some pretty interesting visions.
Yeah.
No, if he were truly psychic, he would have.
Oh, you know what? You don't even have to be truly psychic the way we reckon it, because when they come for you, your circuit's open.
Yeah,
When they come for you, they plug you in, and there is no. You don't have to have a special ability. It's the special ability people like us that can have it happen when they don't want it to happen.
yeah.
And,
Well, it
like
goes supersonic
what?
So does light
when you
imitate?
do get plugged in by them, and you already have the gift in a big way. It goes supersonic.
Well, for me, when they connected, right? It was easy. It was misunderstandable. It was not understandable, but the connection was clear.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Just my little VGA pickup trying to listen to their HDMI hookup, and it didn't work.
Yeah. Well, it's two different kinds of mechanisms.
Right? It wasn't forced. It was like, hello, like, you know what? I was thinking about it when I contacted them. It was
Hmm.
like some lady's 4-year-old got a hold of her phone and dialed the first number he saw, and they were dealing with me like that. The people on the other end
You
were like,
know,
Oh,
my
I'm sure it wasn't
4-year-old
that.
called Oral Roberts prayer line.
when I
Yeah.
was 6, when I was about 6 o'clock, or 6 years old, sorry, when I was about 6 years old, my grandmother I was designing these things, drawing robots and aliens and cars and airplanes, 6 years old, right?
Oh
And my
yeah.
grandmother had a saying, "Well, you better put stock into it." Now, I didn't know what she meant. So I got the phone book and I looked up a stockbroker and I called the stockbroker. I had him on this is a real story. I called a stockbroker and he was trying to sell me oil stocks at 6 years old,
No,
right?
I
Or
don't
7 years
need that.
old.
I want stock in my stuff.
Right. I
Oh
didn't
my god, that is so
so
funny.
he was a high pressure salesman. I was like, right? And then one day
He
and
probably
then
looked
one
at mine and
day,
said, I got a live one.
Yeah.
I knew my phone number, so I gave him my phone number, and he goes, "So, are you interested in buying stock?" I'm like, "You could say that," and, he started his high pressure sales, and, of course, most of it just went right over my head, and then one day, in about a week's time, I've been talking to him for several days. He called when I was at school. I
Uh-oh.
was in 1st grade, and my mom answered. My Maybe I was a little older than that because he called asking for Mr. Allen, and she goes, "I'm sorry, who are you looking for?" "Mr. Allen, Nathan Allen." Nathan Allen is 6 years old, and he's in school, and he was like,
Oh, this gets
"Excuse
better,
me, what?
doesn't it?
Son of a plank."
Oh my God.
Oh my god, that
Shades
is
of
True
hilarious.
Sheldon.
story, true story. I called and my grandmother, my mom wanted to be mad at me, but my grandmother backed me up and says, "Well, oh, this has
I
got to
think
be
it's my fault.
when I said, you need to put stock in it. That's not really what I meant, but he
Oh,
didn't know
that's
that."
too hilarious.
That's
I
funny.
never thought I would ever tell that story.
Well, my kid
But
called
to
the
your
prayer line, and the lady on the other side asked him if he wanted a prayer, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna need it." No, my kid, it just how he is, okay? And I walked in and I said, "To whom are you speaking?" And he goes, "Oh, Robert." And I'm like, "Oh, Jesus." You know, he goes, "Yeah, Ma." You know? And I'm like, I got the phone from him. I said, "I'm very sorry." I said, "The little man here is only 7, 8 years old." And I said, "I'm not sure why he called you, but he's right. He is going to need prayer and a lot of it." And they probably don't talk about that, but oh my gosh, I looked at him and I said, "Corner, now." No. Oh,
Oh my
gee.
God.
She goes, "Would you like to make a donation?" I said, "No."
Not
She
today.
goes, she goes, she goes, "Well, I'm sure you're a good Christian lady." And I said, "I'm a good woman." I said, "But Christian wouldn't cover it." I hung up on her. No.
Right. But yeah, anyway.
Oh, the God, that was funny.
Yeah,
That is
stuff
funny.
that kids do, that's what I did to the aliens.
Oh, my.
And I'm 40 something. At the time I was like 47. That was so cool though.
Oh, yeah.
Well, at least
I,
he
I,
didn't
I still think that was great.
get my mom on the line. That would have been she would have freaked out. Like, "Okay, well, I'm ready to get
Just,
on."
oh, boy.
But
But I
that
tell you about talking to strangers. Don't be answering the phone.
right. That kind of stuff is it's kind of where we're at with ufology.
Yeah.
They're out there watching us like we're the dumb little 4-year-olds, and they're waiting for us to grow up enough to where we can, start riding in the back seat with the kiddie seat, and we can be taken along while we're growing up.
Yeah.
And it's SG1. It's totally SG1. Since we're talking comparisons to Star or to TV and movies, SG1, Stargate, it's SG1. You we're doing our thing and we're stumbling around. And in the words of um, Colonel Jack, hey, we're out there now.
Yeah.
We're out
In the
there
words of Tim, prank calling, space time on the Quantum Show.
now.
If you're here, you're quantum. Like and subscribe.
If I do call Harp, I will totally record that call.
I hope so.
Oh,
I
you
want to hear it.
should. You should. You're going to need as much help as you can to.
I'm
I'm
gonna
kidding
look
you.
and see if I can find their number right now.
Oh
Now
my
there's a
God.
alien race that lives in the Sandia Mountains in New Mexico. And they had targeted 2023, I think it was September 2023, that they were going to initiate open contact with the public, regardless of what the government said. But they did not. And that date, I guess, has probably been pushed back. You know what? I got the laptop right here. I'm gonna look that up.
Well, the Sandia Mountains are north of here, and up by Santa Fe.
It's,
It's either Santa Fe or Albuquerque. Albuquerque's got the Sangria Mountains, and I think it's Santa Fe that has Sandia. But there's all sorts of things run in New Mexico. I mean, we've got skinwalkers, chupacabra.
yeah, those skinwalkers. Those things freak me out.
Yeah, but and John's got a buddy of his that worked out on the Skinwalker Ranch. Saw him.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
See,
So we're
Contact
looking at
information is public knowledge.
Oh yeah, give him a call, Nathan. What the hell?
I should call ambush interview HARP.
Okay, there we go. Now.
I'm going to save that link. And what am I looking at here? Oh, right.
Okay.
But
yeah, that's that. The New Mexico is absolutely loaded with all sorts of oddities. I mean, after all, we had Roswell here, but we also had the Los Alamos labs. We still have them. And of course, a remarkable amount of nuclear testing. And I'm not too sure that that nuclear testing doesn't have something or all to do with some of the things that have been cited in this area. So I had a caregiver that was absolutely straight on. I mean, this guy is pretty straight arrow. Came to my office one day, was very upset. It's an older man. And he goes, I need to talk to you. And I said, well, come on in, let's do what we can. And he said, have you ever heard of a chupacabra?
Mm-mm.
And I said, is this a joke? Of course I've heard of them. And he goes, there's one snooping around at my farm. My cattle got bit. My goats have been killed. And some of the barn cats and that. I looked at him, I said, I don't disbelieve you. I said, but there's a drought on. I said, are you so sure that one of the big cats hasn't come out of the mountains? And he goes, I don't know. I fear the chupacabra. They'll kill my family. And he was dead serious. Of course, this area can be very, very superstitious. A lot of old folks here. So that's that story.
I think the chupacabra is probably like somebody's pet that they let out to go potty, and the UFO had to take off and left it here.
It would come back, huh?
Or it ran off, got lost, or something.
I don't know. I'm more
it's so
thinking,
dog-like.
Yeah, I'm more thinking one of these creatures got up into the nuclear test sites, got itself mutated.
Oh, yeah,
and maybe went after farm animals. I think that's be more inclined to believe something like that, but I don't know. I never saw one, and the only time I've had anybody actually allude to it and tell me about them, I'd asked about them before, but most people won't talk about it if they're asked about it, which is very odd. But in this area, like a lot of old farming communities, pretty close community. If you're an outsider in any way, they won't talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same way Bigfoot and Dogman is around here in Kentucky and South Carolina. If you know, you know. And they don't talk about it. They don't talk about it. Because Tennessee, as far as Bigfoot goes, and Dogman, right? Land Between the Lakes. That happened in 1973. Or it happened in like 1979 or something. I don't remember, right? But it was in the late 70s.
Okay.
And 2 years later, we took a field trip there. Years.
Do
Oh my
you
God.
just
Years.
overrun with kids? You could afford to lose one or two here and there.
I guess, and I
Yeah.
literally overheard the adults talking. I was little, right? What did I know? And I was thinking, okay, they said, well, what about the animals? And it was just like that. What about the animals? Talking to each other. And I
Yeah.
was thinking, I didn't even listen to the answer. I was like, what animals? Skunks and possums and squirrels? Little did I know. They were talking
Mhm.
about dogman attacks where the whole family was ripped to shreds.
Yeah.
By the way,
Now,
that
Storm is saying the chupacabra cryptoid sightings, or cryptid rather, go back several centuries. They go
right.
clear back into the Spanish conquistadors.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Dark Ages.
Oh, really?
Well, they made their run through here, I want to say in the 1700s, in looking for gold, looking for El Dorado.
Mhm.
And, they came across them then. So what they are specifically, I couldn't tell you. But I
They
do
didn't.
know that Wolverine do come down here.
Yeah, and there's a thing. Lou Elizondo. I'm back to ufology. Lou Elizondo was at Skinwalker Ranch before it
Uh-huh.
was sold, right? Before when what's his name?
I don't
What's
know.
had it before? What's his name? Raven help.
Yeah,
Bigelow. When
Bigelow.
Bigelow had it, right?
Okay.
Lou Elizondo went there and something attacked the horses. And it and now as a country boy, I put on my critters hat and I was like, what attacks from the ground anything as big as a horse? And it was like, they said it was an alien. I'm like, aliens are not going to pop up to scratch a horse to death, right?
Yeah, and just what's the point?
Right. That doesn't make any sense. So, what local fauna can do that? And I went looking, right? Now, I don't know if y'all know, but Tennessee have armadillo here. So
Mhm.
Do they really?
yes,
I thought that
I've
was
got
We
a
even have some
Texan
here.
phenomena.
yeah. You got armadillo up there too.
Mhm.
Yeah, they have made their way out because of the climate, right?
Well, that
And
makes sense because it's hotter
so
than a mother-in-law's temper down here.
right. So I looked and I was like, what kind of critter can do that? Badgers can attack something, but badgers don't attack up. They attack this way, right?
Yeah, they go through.
Right. They don't jump up on stuff. They like to like jump down on stuff. If they do that,
Well,
I mean,
weasels will jump up.
who?
Weasels.
I'm getting there. What is a weasel? A weasel is a wolverine. A wolverine
Yeah,
is in the family of weasels. They're from
right.
Canada and Northwest United States. And I went looking at biology papers talking about now, have they been making their way down? I thought at first badgers, but then I'm like, badgers don't act like that. Badgers attack face first, right? They don't.
Wolverines are crazy.
Wolverines will jump. Wolverines will attack
They
an
don't care
elephant.
how big it is, so they're
Right?
going to take it. That's
They
all
will
there is
attack
to it.
Yeah.
up. So, and they got those big claws that will just go through anything, right? Horse's hide is pretty stout stuff,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It was a wolverine that attacked that horse. It They had been making their way down from Canada for the past like 60 years because of, or 40 years, sorry, because of climate. They
Right.
and food, what they eat, and they follow where the food takes them. And well, the food took them down through the Northwest, down through that area, all the way to New Mexico. Now they're not
Yeah,
common,
they're big on rodents and things
right?
like that. And this area has
They're not
prairie dogs
common
and all
down there,
sorts of things.
right? They're not common, but what's less common are freaking aliens that attack horses. That's even less common.
Yeah.
Okay, and I figured out just through deduction that it was most likely based on the pattern of attack and how it had gashes down its side. That's a Wolverine. That's
Yeah,
straight
a
up.
very pissed off Wolverine.
Yeah, and
It probably
sees
kicked
Yeah.
at.
Wolverine just sees a big meal waiting for it.
Yeah, it does.
Just sees a giant four-legged steak burger
Yeah.
walking around, and it just goes up and says, "Well, I got to kill my steak burger today," and it was a
Yeah.
Wolverine. Debunked.
And it may have had a family or something, it was feeding as well.
Right. Well, yeah, okay. Well, just going with the attack pattern, right?
Mhm.
I can't go beyond that because I don't have any more evidence. All the evidence we have
Well, it
is
stands to reason that the thing wouldn't come down by itself, although they're not especially plentiful.
right. Well, they're rare in New Mexico, but
Oh,
they're
yeah, but they're there.
because New Mexico is not all desert either.
Uh,
Yeah. Oh, let's look at Ruidoso ski resorts in Ruidoso.
right. Mountains, beautiful green mountains. The further north you go, of course, there's more greenery, more plains.
Right.
And yeah,
Skinwalker
down
Ranch.
where I live, it's just the Badlands of New Mexico.
Let me see
That's
where
what they called.
Are you south of Santa Fe?
Beg your pardon?
Are you south of Santa Fe?
I'm about 200 miles south of Santa Fe.
Okay.
Right. I'm way down at the bottom of the border, about 50 miles from El Paso.
Okay.
Thereabouts.
All right. I know where you're at then. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Easy
Well, you
peasy.
don't. It's just a general understanding of the area. Let's
Well,
make
yeah. Well, I have family that lived in Tucumcari.
Okay.
Okay, Tucumcari is on the west side, if I
Okay.
remember right.
Yep. And Skinwalker Ranch is in Utah, Uinta
Yeah.
Basin.
Yeah.
And it is not quite New Mexico, right? New Mexico is further
It's
away.
in the
South.
the 5-state area.
It's right around there.
Yeah.
And so yeah, if they have been seen, if Wolverines have been seen in New Mexico, they definitely been seen in Utah. And
Mm-hmm.
Utah has its own, they have their ski resorts too. It's not all desert. But just saying, people want to jump on that train, you know.
No, it's
Aliens.
just that this area, being as hot as it is, so it's usually unlikely for a northerly animal to find its way down here.
Right.
Even the big cats that are up in the mountains, the cougar and the lynx and stuff like that, they don't come out of the mountains very often, and if they do, it's searching for food and water.
Right. Samo, I can look at it, but I can't present it. It's just a technical limitation. But Samo is putting up a polar bear somewhere, made its way down to a major city. It's massive between the cars. And there's a
My.
video. And this is the video.
I would assume it'd be still in Canada. They're having a difficult time of it as well.
Right. I don't
So
know.
one thing we don't have much of here, and that's bears, although they do come down.
Oh yeah, we had a bear. We had a bear going to a candy store in Gatlinburg. That right.
That sounds
But
like it.
before that, now Gatlinburg is East Tennessee, right? That's bear country anyway. But we had
Right,
one,
the Appalachia.
right. Well, this is all Appalachia. But before that, there was a bear in Colombia. That's where my sister lives. Okay, a bear in Colombia. Now that's that's 30 minutes away from here. A black bear in Colombia sighted in town, like town square.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's not out in the woods. But yeah, animals going to animal. The wild is going to wild. And
I have some friends in Idaho, and they have moose all the time, and they have to tell the kids, they're not cuddly. If it's a mother and there's a young one around, they'll trample you. Just stay clear of them.
Right.
Yeah.
But they'll come right
Well,
into people's backyards.
I had a friend that wanted to pet a deer, and I'm like, don't. You know, that thing can decide to gore you to death.
Yep.
It,
Yeah, deer, when they don't have antlers, they use their hooves. Their hooves are like daggers.
yeah, they are.
Imagine being stabbed with a bent spoon.
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Stabbed with a spoon.
It's like,
right?
no.
Right. They don't have sharp. It's not sharp. They're pointy.
You know,
Like being stabbed with a spatula.
I
Yeah.
was sitting meditating next to a lake in Ohio, and a good sized lake, a little bit of woods off to the side, and I had spaced out as you do when you meditate, and I felt a breath on the back of my neck, and it brought me back up, and I looked out the side of my eye, and there was a great big 12-point buck wanting to know what the hell I was. And it was rutting season.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if anybody understands what that means, but
I do.
they are not coherent when it's rutting season, like human beings either. But rutting, of course, is their call of nature to mate and have babies.
Mhm.
And I wasn't in the market. And anyway, he took a mouthful of my hair and spit it out on me. Decided that was no good. I sat absolutely still. And he was tired of me, so he wandered off. I guess he liked the smell. I don't know.
Oh my
But
God.
I counted myself lucky. He
Oh
went
yeah.
one
How did you keep your
direction.
composure? I
I
would have been freaking out.
I was had been meditating and keeping still for a very long time ahead of that. Doing martial arts exercises. If you can't keep your head during a crisis,
Oh boy.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, it just is extraordinarily uncommon for them to approach a human being. They
Yeah.
Right.
generally don't.
There's something else. You said meditation that rung a bell. Okay.
hmm
There's this guy. I'm gonna try to put him on screen, but it's a YouTube video and I don't know how well it's gonna work. Okay. Now I'm gonna maximize this so we can see everything, right? But I'm gonna do my best to show it. Now I'm not gonna play any sound, but I'm gonna pause it. Now he's throat singing. You'll have to Google it yourself.
Yeah, I know what
Can
throat
everybody see
singing
it?
is.
Can everybody
Yeah,
see this? Okay.
Mhm.
but I don't know that it's moving. Yeah, I guess it is.
It is now. Well, you saw that dark spot move?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not what he saw. See that dark spot moving? Now
Uh-huh.
he's explaining there's a deer behind me and he's doing the thing. He's wondering where the sound comes from. Yeah, see, now I don't get to
Yeah,
go
throat
back.
singing
Can you
is
still see it?
yeah.
Okay, now let me go back. That dark spot is not what he saw. Now if you look to the left of the dark spot, that's a deer looking at him like he was
Mm-hmm.
meditating. He was meditating. That's a deer looking at him. That dark spot is like some kind of a forest spirit. He didn't see that. He didn't see that at all. All right,
Oh
I'm going to go ahead.
my.
Or
Yeah,
it was a Sasquatch tracking that deer. because that's what they primarily
It
eat.
might have been that,
Well,
or it might have been
no, they got
Sasquatch wondering what the commotion was
Slapped
about.
Ham Slapped Ham looked at that video because other people saw that dark spot moving, and they
Mm-hmm.
went into and they investigated, and it
There's
was
nothing there.
some kind of Appalachian thing, okay, or
Okay.
not Appalachian thing, but it was a tall, thin, white, gaunt humanoid with
Oh,
a long
My.
face. Yeah, a long face,
Horse spirit,
large
huh?
dark eyes. It was something really weird.
oh, like those one things they call what do they call those?
Is he a Inuit or what?
I don't.
Individual throat singing.
I'm not sure, but that just
The
rung a
throat
bell.
singing, there's a couple of different cultures that do it.
Tibet.
Tibet.
Tibetan
Yeah,
monks
lots of
do
people
it,
do it, and it
and then
is,
there's some Native
and it is,
American, I think.
yeah, it is a meditative technique, right?
Right.
That
Mhm.
they use in their cultures.
Yeah.
Well, meditation. What does meditation do? It raises our vibe up momentarily. It
Right.
takes us away from only this and puts us where those guys live. Like, remember my chart? We're here. We dip out every now and again. Either
Mhm.
side. We don't know which way we're going. We hope we're going higher. We hope the good things are finding us, you know? Mm. And I think the deer was attracted to that as well as the forest spirit was attracted to that.
Well, it's very possible. I
And
mean, I'll sit out in the front yard and meditate. And my front yard is, well, my porch is basically looks at my yard. I've got zero escaping. And oops, what happened?
My heater quit. I gotta fix my heater here real quick.
Oh, okay. But the hummingbirds will get caught in my hair.
yeah, because we put out a field.
Yes.
This has been proven, okay? And we have a magnetic field that we use, and that's just the scientific part of it that we can see. Then we have the psychic field that we project, and when we meditate,
Mhm.
we get bigger, we expand.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We kind of like
Mhm.
Lynn, between worlds. That's what we're dipping our foot into when we
Yeah.
right. And for
Yeah.
those of y'all that
No.
don't know what between worlds is, right?
Storm was very ill in 2014 to a place where he almost died. And I brought him home, and he was between worlds. He still was very, very ill when he came home. And then we call it that because the psychic goes ape shit, and your ability to sense things does too. Everything's very high. But that between worlds is no joke, it's real. But being able to continue to tap into it is not usual. And Storm still does. He's still able to.
Yeah. Once you go there, you keep going there.
Yeah.
It becomes we get reprogrammed.
Yeah.
That is part of it. And a lot of people cannot handle it. They need meds. They think they're going crazy because
Yeah.
it's so far away from their perception, their context of reality. But it's
Well,
real.
when I say he almost died, I mean he at one point he did die. And I know because I felt it.
Yeah.
And it was very strange. Of course, it's one of those kind of situations where everything's happening at one time, but he managed to get himself back. And he said it's just very strange. He goes, I was in a whole different place. He goes, it wasn't all that different from this one. I'm like, yeah, I know.
You guys,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to go. I've got a
Oh,
issue here. My space heater has quit.
Oh boy.
oh, it
I only
just
have.
may need to cool down.
I hope that's all it is. Yeah, I got to go down to the garage and try to bring up that one into here. We're gonna freeze
All
to death
right.
tonight.
All right, honey. You
I
take
gotta
care
go.
of
Thank
yourself.
you. All
Okay.
right, I will talk to
Bye,
you all later.
Raven.
All
Okay,
right.
bye bye.
Bye.
Bye. So
Push them buttons.
anyway,
Push the buttons. There we go.
there we go. But yeah, that business of walking between worlds, uh, it doesn't matter at what age it happens to you. From there on, you walk between,
Yeah.
and it's sometimes it's more in your face than others.
Yeah. I can attest to that. I got yanked. You know what? I said it in the first hour, but when I went to the cemetery with my friend Donna, she was
Mhm.
taken all the way there. I was held. She was taken. She was gone. Okay. I
I
was there
know.
alone.
That's what you were
She was
saying.
gone. And I was there and I could see the darkness and the blurriness. And I was something he actually said, "You stay right here." And I did. And I saw the the portal, I guess you could say. By the way, portal places. Cemeteries are portal places.
Yes.
They just are. I don't no science. There's no science for that. Cemeteries are portal places.
Well,
And
I think the human psyche has built them up into a portal place, and of course, what the human psyche puts together becomes
right, it's a manifestation. What happens
right.
at cemeteries, funerals? Funerals are quantum guideposts. They have all had funerals back there. Though that creates portals. I'm coming to the conclusion of it, right? When
Yeah.
you have funerals, funerals are an opening of the doorway for them to go to wherever they're going, right? And
Extreme emotion,
extreme emotion and
extreme emotion most of the time.
right,
You know,
right. And the between worlds, once you go there, you continue to go there. And it just is just that's just one of the rewirings that we go through if we have
yeah.
that experience, right?
Woo
No,
got a cat,
I I guess so.
apparently, or a little kid.
Yeah. But Tim put this in the chat and I wanted to address this.
Oh, okay.
I just heard a thing. I can't remember where it's from. Oh yeah, it was from Y Files and it was from Lacerna Files, right? It says, but I thought Bigfoot, but I thought they were supposed to be another species of human, just hairy, tall, Bigfooted humans. Now, let me address that. In the Y Files, Lacerna Files, link below, okay, to Y Files. Look for Lacerna Files. The alien that was talking to the human said Bigfoot is what happened to the humans. They evolved into Bigfoot. They were a divergent branch. We were altered by the Anunnaki.
Mm-hmm.
I accept this. Now, this alien, which go see the thing for context, right? Said that the ones that weren't altered became Bigfoot. We became this. They became the ones that actually walk between planes, walk between vibrations. We can do it sometimes with discipline, meditation, um, sometimes religion, casting circle. We can. That's how we go to those other
Extreme events.
right volcanoes, hurricanes, wildfires, apparently
Extreme events.
asteroid collisions.
Yeah.
Those things, lots of power. There's lots of energy that happens at a volcano and a wildfire and an impact strike. Um, all of those have weird stuff happen around them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lynn, it's the 2-hour mark. Yeah, I'm tired too.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to yawn. And
It's
it's
no
not you, it's me.
late. It's really late, and well, we need to start wrapping it up. You know, I mean, it's the 2-hour. We're literally 3-4 seconds out from the 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
Beyond it, we're on the other side of the quantum show. Speaking of portals, but
Oh, if you're here, you're quantum.
mhm,
Like and subscribe.
like
Without
and
you guys
subscribe.
and that, we just can't keep going. You know, your
Yep.
participation means everything to us.
Yeah, and I am going to look into talking with Michaela and
Okay.
maybe get her on, talk to her about stuff, and well, disclosure is personal. It's not going to be public. There. Nobody's going to mess with the cash crop, and that's us, right?
Oh, that's right.
There, but we can call out. We could just do it. It takes practice. It takes something. And Aussie is giving me the red light. Okay, please like and subscribe. If you're here, you're quantum. Says Aussie Tiger.
Right.
That's the red light. She's kicking me off the stage, y'all. And watch for changes in the show. I got a new. Y'all didn't hear any clicks because I got a new keyboard. I got 2 new
That's
keyboards.
right. I didn't.
There were no clicks tonight because I got a soft touch whisper keyboard, but I put pinstripes on it because I like that. I put my own pinstripes on there. It was all plain black, and I was like, you know what? This needs a little bit of droidism put onto it. So I put some pinstripes on there. Okay, now the other mods are stepping in. We're pushing buttons. Yeah, I know. I'm going. Okay, the next guy's got to come up. Whoever that is, I don't know. The universe will decide. All right.
Good night, all.
Bye, everybody. Pushing those buttons. Keeping it quantum. Have a good